Hi there, and I'm going to answer some of the questions that you sent me in the email here. So you say, "Hi teacher, I've been seeing your videos for a long time. Every time I watch, I get excited to start. I have a plan to take your course for 2 months, and I'm not sure when it's the right time. I'm going to take the TOEFL test after 6 months. At the same time, I study English abroad now. I'm high intermediate student at," you want to say here, "at least." That is what the placement test said. "My goal is to reach 80 or higher. I didn't take the TOEFL test before. When I take it, I want to be completely ready, and hopefully I can reach my goal on the first test. What do you think is the best month to take your course? Do you think I can do it?" Excuse me, "do it in 6 months. Thank you." First of all, Happy New Year to you. This is the year 2016, if you can believe it. And guess what? You are the first email for me to read for the new year. This is it. You are it. Now, my suggestion for you is, there is a saying in American culture, I don't know if you've heard it, "the early bird catches the worm." What I would do is try to reach your TOEFL goal as quickly as you can. You got 6 months here, try to do it in 3 or 4 months if possible. Usually it takes students longer than what they think to reach their goal, so I would recommend you to join my course immediately. It may take a few months for you to get your English where it needs to be before you can reach that goal. So I'm going to say the best time is now, right now, today. Now here's my recommendations for you. If you've been watching a lot of my videos, you already know a lot of what I'm going to tell you, right? So here's what I'm going to recommend right now. It seems like you're pretty serious about your TOEFL. So 60% of your time right now, you should be focusing on doing a few things here. Number one, read every day for about 45 minutes. This is very important for you. You need to do this every day. Number two, also practice listening. Listen every day for about 45 minutes. I'm guessing by the email that you sent me, you have quite a few language use problems, so I'm guessing your TOEFL score right now, if you're high intermediate, you're probably between about 40 and 60. That would be my best guess right now, and that's probably a pretty good guess. So you're looking at several months of very, very serious study before you're going to reach your goal. In both cases, as you do your reading and your listening practice, choose materials you actually have an interest in, or something that you want to learn about, you think you're going to benefit from reading and listening to it, and that's going to help motivate you. So a lot of what you're doing right now, at least for the first month or two, you need to work not on the actual TOEFL exam, but you need to build your English abilities. So with reading, as you do reading practice, I recommend newspapers, magazines, and longer books. It's important as you do your reading. What you're trying to do now is to get used to reading things in English for longer periods of time. Now, right now, it might not even be possible for you to read for 45 minutes without stopping. It's possible that your brain can't even take it, but your goal is to build up to being able to read something for 45 minutes without stopping, and that includes without looking up vocabulary words that you don't know. Right? The most important thing, you're trying to work on concentrating in English. That means you're not answering your phone, you're not going to Snapchat, you're not going to Twitter. You're actually trying to concentrate on reading and listening materials. Now with listening, If you have access to English TV, I recommend history, news, documentary, and especially science programs. Those are great things for you. Now, I have 3 websites you can actually also go to. The first one, Randall's Cyber Listening Lab. This is a really good ESL website that you can go to. I recommend for you start with easy, then go to medium, and then go to difficult. Now, there's 2 other websites that you can go to, but focus on Randall's Cyber Listening Lab first. You can actually take comprehension tests after you do your listening practice, so it's very convenient, very easy. You get your results immediately, and focus a lot on that website until you feel like you're getting at least 80%. You can understand about 80% of what you're listening to. Now, the other 2 websites are National Public Radio and TED Talks. These are also good websites that you can practice. Now, my third suggestion is really focus on note-taking. This is important for you right now. As you do your reading and listening practice, focus on the main and the most important supporting points of the reading and the listening passages, and get that down in note form, some abbreviated form. You have to learn how to develop a system of taking notes, and the more you practice, the better you'll get at it. You actually get better and better at doing this, so this is important. Now, number 4, as you're doing your note-taking practice on the reading and the listening passages, I recommend that you write 3 250-word summaries each week. You want to get more comfortable writing about other people's information, and make sure when you're doing your writing practice, you say things like this. The reading passage says, another point made by the author is, finally in the reading passage the writer discusses. Make sure that you're using words that attribute the information as coming from those sources. If you're talking about the lecture, you might say the main point in the lecture is. Another important point the speaker says is, finally the speaker claims. So make sure that you're embedding what I call voice markers that talk about the information in the reading and the listening passages. So each week right now, start writing 3 250-word summaries. Now keep in mind that down the line, maybe a month or so down the line, you'll be doing writing practice tests on my website. And you'll be getting scores, and I'll be giving you comments on those scores. But for right now, just do some ungraded writing practice by writing 3 250-word summaries on a weekly basis. Now, in addition to doing writing practice about the reading and the listening passages, you should also be doing speaking practice about these listening passages. So I'm going to say give 3 60-second oral summaries on the reading and the listening passages. Now remember that it will not be perfect. Again, you'll have a lot of pronunciation problems. You'll probably have a lot of language use problems with your grammar and vocabulary, and also you have some problems organizing and developing your ideas. But you have to start somewhere. So start today. Remember, there's a lot of problems that you're going to have to work out over the next few months. And also remember, like step number 4 here, you will also be at some point submitting speaking practice tests for me, and I will be giving you audio comments on those things. But you don't have to do that immediately. But you should be doing this right now. So again, 60% of your time you're focusing on steps 1 through 5. Okay, so 40% of your time right now should focus on the next few steps that I'm outlining in this video. So keep in mind that I'm not saying that this is 60% of your 24-hour day. I'm just saying that right now you should probably be setting time. I'm guessing right now about 4 hours a day, believe it or not, you should be spending 3 to 4 hours a day going through the steps in this video. If you do this for several months, you will really start to see some really noticeable improvements with your academic English language abilities. Remember that your TOEFL score right now is probably between about 40 and 60 out of 120. If you want to go to 80, you have to really solve a lot of significant language issues to move to the next level. And when I'm outlining this video, this is going to help take you to that next level. So the next thing, step number 6, this is important because, like I'm saying, right now you need to focus more on building your overall academic English language proficiency. You shouldn't be spending a lot of time just on the TOEFL exam. So that's how I've designed my online course, by the way. So the first thing for you is I want you to go through the vocabulary, pronunciation, and the grammar sections of my course. This is what you want to do first. So, and what I recommend is, instead of just trying to do just the vocabulary or just pronunciation or just grammar, you can do a vocabulary lesson on day 1, you can do a pronunciation lesson on day 1, you can do a grammar lesson on day 1. And then the next day you do vocabulary lesson 2, pronunciation lesson 2, grammar lesson 2. What you're going to do is try to do a variety of these 3 sections each day so you don't burn out. Vocabulary is very intense. What you're going to try to do is you're going to try to master 1,700 TOEFL level words in my course. I have audio files you can download. I have a lot of practice exercises to help you master these words, but the bottom line is you need to write these words on note cards. You need to start writing sample sentences using these words. It's going to take some time, but you can start today. Now, my recommendation here, you're probably looking at least 1 to 2 months just to do these first 3 sections of my course. Now remember, you're also doing these steps 1 through 5 each day as well. Do you see what I'm saying? So you should probably plan out on a calendar how you want to make all these things happen. Because if you can make these things happen and you start scheduling these things on your calendar every week, you're going to really find some good improvements. Now, my 7th step for you is you need to go through the listening and the reading sections of my course. This will probably take you, again, maybe 1 to 2 months. The listening section here, I have about 40 different listening practice tests that you can practice. You can start going through those to check your comprehension and see how you're doing. The reading is very, very important here. Your goal, as you go through the reading section of my course, is to increase your reading speed to a minimum of 300 words per minute. I have 70 speed reading practice tests that you can start on. It takes time, but you can improve your reading speed as you work on it. Now, my 8th suggestion here is to go through the speaking. Actually, I do writing before speaking in my course. Do the writing and the speaking sections of my course. This will probably take you another 1 to 2 months. So I recommend that you first do these 3 sections, then do these 2 sections, and then finally you do these 2 sections here. You see what I'm saying? Now, step number 9 is you want to know how close you're getting to your target score, right? So I would recommend that you complete a full-length TOEFL full-length practice test. That means that you should take a TOEFL practice test that's over 4 hours long. It's very boring, it's very tedious, but you need to get a mark. You need to see where you are. When should you do this? My recommendation is about every maybe 2 to 3 months, you should take a full-length TOEFL IBT practice test. This is important. Now what you can do is after the first 3 months, if you take the practice test and your score is very close to 80, I would take the TOEFL exam right away. Now if it's not, then you just continue. You continue following my study plan, right? But you should see where you are within about 90 days. So you can see, you can check your progress. And then after you do the first practice test, maybe 1 or 2 months after that, as you continue to follow my plan, you'll take another practice test so you can mark your progress. Think about it this way. If you take a practice test, 3 things are going to happen. Number 1, if you take a TOEFL level practice test, you'll get more familiar with the structure and the format of the TOEFL IBT exam. Number 2, you will mark your progress. You'll get a score, an overall score. You'll get subtotals in the reading, listening, speaking, and writing sections. That's the third benefit. You can kind of see where you are. You can make some adjustments. Maybe after you take the practice test, you go, oh my goodness, I need to spend more time in the reading area. Or I need to spend more time in the speaking area. Or more time in the writing area. It'll show you what your subtotals are so you can make some changes in your study routine. Now the third benefit, I think, of taking a full-length IBT practice test is kind of like running a marathon. I mean, a TOEFL practice test, which is 4 hours long, is going to help you develop the strength and the stamina that you need to take the real TOEFL test. You see what I'm saying there? And that's it. So these are my suggestions, I think, to help you. And what I would do is, I know you have a 6-month time period, but try to reach your goal as quickly as you can. Remember that once you get your TOEFL score, the score is good for 2 years. So try to reach that goal as quickly as you can so you don't feel like you're trying to do everything at the last minute. You're in very good shape now. You have a lot of time for you to study to reach your goals. My recommendations is 60% of your time you go through steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then 40% of your time each day, you're going through the lessons in my online TOEFL course. First, focusing on the vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar sections. Then you focus on the listening and reading sections. And then you focus on the writing and the speaking areas of my course. From time to time, you can take a full-length IBT practice test to mark your progress. And there you go. Happy New Year to you. And you are the first email that I have received in 2016 who is asking about the TOEFL exam.